My name's Jordan Welty. I'm 21 years old. I'm majoring in entertainment art and animation at CSU Fullerton. And most people are there for television animation. I'm going more specifically for games because that's always been more of my passion. I've always really wanted to work at a game studio. Not really a specific point because it's just always been sort of a focal point for me, like ever since I was 5 or whatever, or maybe even earlier playing an NES at my aunt's house. Like I've always just really liked games and always just found them more interesting than anything else. I'd always get game magazines, and I'd love hearing about how studios would actually, you know, make stuff behind the scenes, which I never really cared as much about for TV or movies, you know. Throughout elementary school, middle school, high school, I would probably play like at least 20 hours a week, every week. That's a minimum. When a new game would come out, it'd be closer to 60, maybe even 80, I don't know. But my favorite system was probably the GameCube. It just had so many quality titles, and they all had a lot of style, which you don't see as much nowadays. You know, you'd see games that were cel-shaded, had really brilliant, beautiful colors, wacky characters, but now everything is so high fidelity. It's not that it's bad, but you know, you get all these realistic Nathan Drake looking guys who you could see walking down the street, which is great, but I'm kind of more of a sucker for that cartoony look. So, and I just remember always loving moving around the characters. I'd always just flick around the joystick and just see how they respond, you know, moving back and forth. Jumping over and over, not even really playing the game, just watching the characters move around in like whatever safe space I could find so I'm not getting killed by enemies. And I do the same thing all the way through the GameCube with stuff like Super Smash Brothers, but I always just loved watching the characters move, and I think that's kind of what started my love for animation. So since I've been playing games since I was around 5 or so, I've been kind of collecting them ever since. I have close to 300 games, and almost all of them are physical. I also try to keep track of the ones I haven't beaten yet. Unfortunately, it's gotten a little out of hand. I have exactly 130 games in my possession that I haven't beaten yet. So that endeavor's not going so well, especially since college. Well, I started with 2D because I really liked Flash cartoons on the internet. So I've been doing that since early high school. But more recently, the past 2 or 3 years, I started doing 3D animation. So, you know, computer animation and programs like Maya. So the type of stuff I'm animating right now is kind of more, my favorite thing rather, is probably like specific characters doing moves. So stuff kind of like sword play, doing combat moves, so stuff that you would see in fighting games. Because I know a lot of people now rely a lot on motion capture, but those types of fantastical over-the-top moves that you see in like God of War or Devil May Cry, those would be a lot harder to motion capture, so you still see a lot of keyframing, which is where you do everything by hand. That's what I'm a big fan of right now, and part of just because I like that sort of stuff, and also I don't have access to motion capture equipment at the moment, but hopefully that's something I'll get to experience down the road. My ultimate dream job would probably be to work for Retro in Austin, Texas. Most studios are out here in California, so that's why I'm, you know, where I am now, but that one studio definitely makes all my favorite games, like Metroid Prime I mentioned earlier, and the more recent Donkey Kong Country games, and they're probably my favorite developer in America.